Sure, in May.
In May?
Welcome, brothers and sisters. Today we're going to be talking about something that you've heard about and something you haven't heard about. So we're talking about, which I know you've all heard about, the fires that are going on in Hawaii. But I'm going to show you some video of some things you have not seen today. So let's take a look at this video first, and then I'll come back and comment.
Conche tu madre. Cuando vuelva la luz, va a volver a explotar. Oye, justo hay una micro ahí, weón. Ah. Ahora, ¿cómo vamos a comer hamburguesa?
Okay, what you saw here was a direct energy weapon coming from a satellite up in the sky. Now, granted, this wasn't in Hawaii. This was taken a couple of months ago, I think in Mexico. But if you notice in the video, the explosion happens before you can see the direct line from the energy weapon coming from the sky. Now I'm going to slow it down again and show you piece by piece so you can really see it. But we don't even see the direct energy line until the fire from the explosion kind of lights it up. And the reason I'm showing you this is I've got more to show you after, so stay with me while we go through this. Okay, so right here you can see the energy weapon starting to already make a little ball of fire, and then immediately there's the stream you can see. And I've slowed it down. Okay, so we can see that it started a little fire, pretty direct where it did hit the fire, and as you can see, as the fire is starting to go out, we can see a little bit of flame that slowly dies down, and then of course here are two still shots. So what we can see that happened here, what it looks like to me, is they were experimenting a little bit in Mexico to see if they could pinpoint exactly where to start a fire, and they did, very apparently. Okay, now this clip right here is actually in Israel, and this is just somebody who is looking up, and what this is Starlink. Clearly going through the sky, and it can be seen with the naked eye, and look at the pattern of Starlink. These are little satellites that are just in our lower atmosphere. Okay, so the reason I've shown you all this is because there is a picture that was taken in Hawaii right before the fires. Actually, there was a couple of pictures taken, but this is one that shows these lights coming out of the sky, and what do they look like? Take a look. Now, to me, that looks just like the exact same pattern as Starlink, doesn't it to you? I mean, come on. Laser energy beams coming from the sky, and the lines match up pretty much almost exactly, don't they? Now, here is another picture that was supposedly taken in Hawaii right before the fires, and this again looks like another direct energy beam coming from a satellite up in the sky. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't trust Elon Musk. I believe that he is part of the entire NWO agenda, everything we're seeing. I strongly believe that. I did a video on him. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and take a look at it whenever you get time. It shows quite a bit of information on him. I wouldn't put it past him to be part of this. I think all these fires we're seeing everywhere are being started on purpose. I think they're trying to push the whole climate change, agenda. It's going to be another way to try and, force people into these 15-minute cities and another, pandemic of sorts with the climate change. And as we all know, try and make us eat bugs and make it where we can't travel around in cars. And, they're not giving up all their planes and stuff like that. They just want to take away all of our rights and freedoms. And I think this is definitely part of that plan and that process, right? And create fear. Make us all believe that, the world is changing because humans have just mistreated everything. But for those of us who are in Christ, we know that God has made a promise and He keeps the earth pretty consistent. He's going to make sure that it's always functioning properly and everything for us, that, there's no big, huge destruction from something that we do. But I guess for those who are not in Christ, I guess they just live in constant fear, right? The rest of us don't. So here I'm going to show you a few more videos of some of the stuff going on in Hawaii with the fires. I'm sure some of y'all have seen some of them. You may not have seen all of them. And then I want to show you another video on basically a whistleblower from the U.S. government that talks about one of the direct energy weapons that we have. Now, whether this one had any part in Hawaii, I don't know. But from what he says, it can cause, volcanoes to erupt and earthquakes and all sorts of what would seem to be natural disasters.
Oh my gosh, look at the harbor. Oh my. Oh my. Unbelievable. This looks like Baghdad or something. Are you guys believing that? Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh my goodness, look at all these houses.
Reporting live from the island of Maui. These fires in Lahaina are real. These things are really happening all over the island. Wailuku, Kaului, Kula, and Lahaina, all on fire. This is Agohufi. I'm out.
We're almost to the end of the mill. We're almost to the smokestack.
What the fuck?
Oh, we made it. We're going to line on the road now pretty soon. But we don't. Oh, somebody's down right there. Oh. Somebody's down right there. Yeah, somebody's down. We're going to do nothing for her. What the fuck, dude? Just go. Go, people, go. Beat the horn, Dad. Oh, my God, bro. Oh. Yeah, beat the horn. Just go. I can't see. Yeah, I know you can't.
I'm very happy that you're giving me this attention and this information attention because it needs to get out to the world. I will start, since we have to be brief. I have already given all pertinent information and supporting documentation to the Senate Intelligence Committee and ARROW. They informed me that all of my information will be recorded for public record and shared with Congress. It is that important. In 2010, I was selected to go down to the South Pole Station in Antarctica for an entire year by Raytheon Polar Services as an employee of a third-party contractor for the National Science Foundation. I function in a dual-role capacity as a tradesman and a firefighter. My responsibilities required me to be more informed than most of my crew and offered me complete access to the facilities. What I learned from this unique experience needs to be shared with the entire world. The technology at the South Pole Station certainly can do what it is presented as its primary purposes, and unfortunately, much more. The Ice Cube Neutrino Detector is presented as a passive listening device for the purposes of the science as presented. But I'm going to skip right through the chase, folks. I have provided documentation that proves that the 5,160, what they call DOMs, that are embedded in the ice can actually transmit at 2,047 volts each. That gives us a long list of things to consider. It is effectively a multifaceted directed energy weapons platform that I will list rapidly a few things that it can do. Vehicle detection. We're learning that these off-world craft, on-world craft, ours or other nations, are also emitting neutrinos. So this makes the South Pole Station effectively an air traffic control station for this new level of equipment that nobody's discussing. In addition to the ability to detect neutrinos and the exotic vehicles, I have provided documentation that shows that this is also a system for faster than light communications. In the past, Gary McKinnon has hacked NASA, found the off-world fleet, the list of captains, and it's apparent that if we have faster-than-light vehicles moving throughout this system, we're going to need faster-than-light communications. This is that facility. Unfortunately, I have other bad news. The season that I was there, 2010 to 2011, we converted from construction to operations and maintenance in both the elevated station and the detector array. Unfortunately, when they first fired it up, that was when we had the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. There was 2 incidental shots before they were able to target it correctly. This is an earthquake generating device as well. This is the weapons of war that we have to deal with now and what Raytheon's hiding. There's an ELF system at the South Pole Station that when I arrived, I was told it was off, dismantled, and completely defunct. In my work, I will rapidly just tell you, I had to figure out the circuitry for certain other repairs, and I found that this system is in fact completely energized, up and running, and being utilized with the other systems for nefarious purposes as well. The Atmospheric Research Observatory is in what we call the clean air sector. I witnessed myself a very powerful green laser shooting out of the top of this facility into the cosmos. This, I believe, is a secondary form of long-range communications and or a defense system. I am not saying that we need to be scared of anything that's out there, but please understand the military-industrial complex is happy to invest all of your money in alleviating their fears. A question of power comes into play for all of these facilities that are present. I assure you, I knew what was going on, I knew the load demands of the facility, and all of these new items exceed the demand for the systems that I was presented. I am doing due diligence and research. I believe there is either a secondary power supply there that is either nuclear, that was there prior to the start of the Antarctic Treaty, which prohibits such things, and or that there is some sort of exotic power supply system there that just is not in the verbiage of the treaty, so it negates the responsibility to the parties involved. I think that pretty much covers it for time. If anybody wants to find out more, I have a website where all this information is at. For brevity, I'll wrap it up, but you can go to deciphering.tv. I've documented all of this stuff, and information is available.
Okay, so you heard that, and he mentioned stuff about, off-world craft and, possible, maybe like, outer space stuff, but most of us know that's not true nor even possible. But there's no doubt that we already know that they even try and convince people that work in different levels of the government that all that stuff is true, even though the majority of us, I think, know that that's not possible. And another thing I wanted to point on a minute ago, whenever I was talking about, God's promise. God's promise that, He will control the climate. He will make sure that in this nice enclosed dome that we are all in under the firmament, that we remain safe, and He controls the weather, and He won't ever let any kind of natural disaster happen again. That's how we know, the rainbow and everything, that God's never going to destroy the earth again through nature and like that. That was His promise to us, no more flood. So he keeps control of everything. Now, undoubtedly, His wrath is about to come down, but even then, He's not going to destroy everything. As we all know, He's just going to wipe out all the bad, and all that come to know Him and know Jesus will be saved, and then He will start the millennial, where everything's wonderful and how He originally intended it to be. But beyond that, I mean, what did y'all think? I found it very interesting that he was talking about a green energy beam. Did you notice the picture that I showed you with the green energy beam? I don't think that's a coincidence. Do you? I mean, we're seeing a lot of weird random fires. I don't even know that Hawaii has ever caught on fire and burned. I don't know. I guess I'd have to look that up. But I don't think this is something that's very common. I mean, Hawaii, it rains like every afternoon, a nice shower, and right by the ocean. And, it's terrible. It's terrible what's being done to all of us. And it's only going to continue to get worse for a while, unfortunately. My goodness, I know that I'm struggling. I'm sure most of y'all are. I'm not getting really by anymore. I'm trying everything I can, which I know a lot of people are, but my goodness, they're making it so hard. You can't pay your bills and eat and get gas and stuff. And I can't imagine what these people in Hawaii are going to do now. I mean, maybe they should go to another country and claim legal immigration, and then everything will be covered for them, right? Go to France or somewhere like that, because I don't imagine the United States is going to be taking care of them. I mean, they've got their hands full with everybody from all these other countries, giving them everything except the, jabbity jab. They're not getting that, but they're getting free cell phones and free housing and free food and free clothes and free everything. But not if you're an American citizen. You don't get anything, do you? That's the world we're in right now. Anybody who cares about this country, anybody who cares about the people, they want to crush. They want to crush completely. I mean, look at what's happening to President Trump. I know there's some influencers out there, and make no doubt about it, they're influencers telling people, don't trust Trump, don't trust anybody, don't trust the Jews, don't trust anybody, but you can trust them, right? And I know there's several here on Rumble and YouTube and social media and Telegram pushing all this narrative. Look, don't be deceived by these people. Anybody who's telling you, don't trust anybody, but you can trust them, that should be a big red flag for you. How do we know who's good, who's not, who's of God? We know them by their fruits, right? Have they been doing good things? Have they been doing anything bad? The Antichrist, he's going to claim to be a Christian. He's going to say he's going to do all these good things, but he's not going to actually do them. He's never going to turn and proclaim, God is king, Jesus is king, none of these things. He's just going to say he's a Christian. He's going to say he's going to do good things for people, but not actually do good things for people. So, watch and judge people's characters and stuff by their fruits. What have they proven? What is their track record, right? That's how you know. Well, let me know what you think about what I showed you and what your thoughts are on these fires. And not just the fires in Hawaii, but the fires in other places as well. And what you've seen. And if you think I'm onto something right here with Starlink, it sure looks like it to me. Please take a moment to follow, like, subscribe, and be sure and leave me comments. Let me know what you think on everything. And be sure to check out some of my other videos. And I really appreciate you watching very much. And I will see you all in the next video.